If you're trying to build your art career completely on your own, this video is going to show you how building a small support circle will actually grow your art and your income. In this video, I'm going to share a simple support circle framework for artists, the 3 roles every support circle needs, how these people help our confidence and our income, and a 30-day plan to start building that circle, even if you're shy, introverted, or out of practice socially. Let's start with why doing this alone quietly slows everything down. When you're on your own, a few things tend to happen. We second guess every price and every offer. We talk ourselves out of opportunities because there's no one saying, go on, try it. And we bounce between ideas because we don't have anyone to help us stick on one path long enough to see results. On the outside, it looks like lack of discipline. In reality, it's lack of support. We need a small, intentional support circle with 3 key roles, plus one simple container where we check in. I call it our second act art support circle, and it looks like this. A peer. Someone at a similar stage walking alongside us. A guide, someone a few steps ahead whose experience we can learn from. And a cheerleader or buyer, someone who already loves our work and wants us to succeed. A small container, a simple way we touch base regularly. So this isn't just a nice idea. We'll walk through each, then put it into a 30-day plan. Let's start with the peer because that's often easiest to find. A peer is another artist who is close enough to our stage that we really understand each other. Not a celebrity mentor, not someone miles ahead, just another human who is taking their art seriously and trying to earn something from it, while juggling real-life responsibilities, just like we are. A good peer might be someone who also started or restarted later in life, shares similar values about calm, sustainable business, and is willing to talk honestly about money, not just materials. When we have a peer, a few things begin to shift. We feel less strange for wanting our art to pay us. We can swap, this is working, this really isn't, in real time. And we have at least one person who understands why sending that one email or finishing that one piece was a big deal this week. A small action we can take. Let's get our journal or our scrap of paper and work through some of this. Think of and write down the names of 3 artists we already know or follow who feel like potential peers. They might be local, online, or someone from a workshop. We can send one simple message this week. Something like, hey, I'm taking my art more seriously these days and I'm looking for another artist to share the ups and downs with. Would you like to open a very low-key check-in now and then? Not a huge commitment, just opening the door. Next, let's choose our guide. A guide is someone who is a few steps ahead of us on the path we care about. They might not even know they're our guide. They could be a teacher we've taken a course with, a local artist who is already selling in a way that we'd like to, or someone online whose work and approach we deeply respect. The point isn't to find a perfect guru. The point is to stop trying to reinvent absolutely everything by ourselves. A guide helps us, sees what's realistic at our stage, avoids obvious pitfalls, and we benefit from their experience to borrow systems that already work instead of starting from a blank page. There are different levels here. For example, free level, we treat someone as a guide by really studying their free content, books and talks. There's the light touch. We go to their workshops, ask the occasional thoughtful question. And then deeper, we invest in a short program or one-to-one support when the time is right. Let's get out our journals or our scrap of paper and work through this. Pick one guide for this current season, just one, and write, my guide for this season is, and decide what our next step is with that one person. That might be, I'm going to watch this series on pricing and actually do the exercises. Or I'm going to email and ask if they ever offer short mentoring sessions. Or I'm going to save up to join their next course instead of buying 5 random small classes. Here, we're telling our brain, I'm not alone, I have someone to learn from. Now, the 3rd role, the cheerleader buyer. This is the role we almost never name, but it's vital. Our cheerleader buyers are the people who already light up when they see our work, share it with others and ask, are you selling yet? and sometimes quietly become repeat buyers or even request commissions. They might be a friend who always notices our new pieces, a past client who cherishes what they bought, someone from our old working life who adores what we're doing now. When we intentionally include them in our support circle, we remember that our art already has value in the world. We feel less scared about bothering people when we share new work. And we create a small group of people who are genuinely delighted when we succeed. Let's turn to our journal again, or our paper. First, write down 3 names of people who've already shown love for our art. Then choose one to update this week with a simple message such as, I've been quietly building my art business behind the scenes. I just wanted to share a piece I've finished recently because you've always been so supportive. There's no sales pitch, you're just letting them in. So we've got a peer, a guide, a cheerleader buyer. Now we need a small container so this doesn't all live in our head. A container is simply how we keep in touch with our circle. It might look like a monthly Zoom call with 1 or 2 peers, a WhatsApp thread where we share wins and wobbles, a small accountability group for artists over 50 with income goals, or a mix of these that feels light enough to sustain. The magic isn't in a fancy structure. The magic is in saying once a month we'll show up in the same room, real or virtual, and talk honestly about how our art and income are going. A small action we can take. If we already know 1 or 2 peers, we can suggest a trial call. Would you be up for a very relaxed 45-minute call next month where we each share 1 win, a wobble, and 1 focus for the next month? If we don't know anyone yet, we can look for an existing group for older artists that talks about both creativity and income, or post in a course community we're in, asking anyone over 50 interested in a small accountability group even. Take some time to think and make a note of your choices. Now, let's turn this into a simple 30-day support circle experiment. Here's one way we could structure it. Week 1, map out what we already have. Grab a page and make 3 columns: peers, guides, cheerleaders, buyers. Fill in real names we already have, even if we're not in touch yet. Circle the biggest gap. Is it peers, is it guides, or cheerleaders? Week 2, 1 message per role. Send one message to a potential peer. Take 1 step towards a guide. Study a series properly. Email a question. Explore a small paid option. Send 1 warm, non-salesy update to a cheerleader buyer. Week 3, try a small container. Invite 1 or 2 peers to a very low pressure 30 to 45-minute call or cafe meetup. Use a simple format: 1 win, 1 challenge, 1 focus for the next month. Notice how we feel afterwards: more alone or less, more motivated or less. Then in week 4, we review and we refine. We ask ourselves, which connections felt genuinely supportive? Where did I feel more hopeful or more focused afterwards? What small rhythm would I like to keep for the next 3 months? Decide on 1 simple ongoing pattern. For example, a monthly call with 1 peer plus monthly email to my cheerleaders with new work. If 30 days feels fast, we can stretch this over 60 days. The point isn't to collect as many people as possible. The point is to stop pretending we have to do this entirely alone. So, if I was starting again with all my second act wobbles and responsibilities, what support circle would I build first? I tell you, I'd start small. I'd choose 1 peer who's also taking their art income seriously, 1 guide whose values and business model feel kind and sustainable, and 3 people who already love my work and want to see more of it. Then I'd set up 1 45-minute check-in with my peer each month, 1 small concrete step with my guide each month, a lesson, an email, an exercise, and 1 simple update to my cheerleaders buyers each month with new pieces, stories, or invitations. And that's it. It's not a huge networking plan. It's just a small circle of humans who help me remember my art matters, my income goals are valid, and I'm not doing this in a vacuum. Having your own support group is the best way to move your art forward creatively and increase your art income. Oh, I can't get my words out today. Shares similar values even. I just keep messing it up. There. In a small accountability group even.
It's never, ever, ever, ever